Hi Nigel,
Hi.
you're a writer, an academic,
Yes.
a thought leader, and you're a broadcaster. Do you want to add to your introduction a little bit?
Well, I actually work with organisations as well, so I'm a practitioner in addition to those things.
And what are you curious about?
Curiosity has been a defining force in my life. I was a very curious child, and I'd even do things that I knew I'd be punished for because I was curious.
Can you give an example?
Yeah, I can give an example. I took a family heirloom clock apart because I was fascinated by how it worked. And as I was taking it apart, it was so complicated, I knew that I couldn't put it back together again. But I did. I kind of did, but there was one bit missing, and it didn't work. So I put it back on the shelf and sat there and waited for my father to go absolutely berserk, which he did. And he said, if you ever touch anything of mine, and of course, a week later, I was in there touching something. I did silly things, like I took the back of radios when they were plugged in and got electric shocks just to see, because I wanted to know what was in the random.
Yeah.
And I realised they had big radios, and the works were just teeny bullets.
Okay.
So I took things like that. I took things apart. I asked a lot of questions, and that annoyed my father particularly. He used to say to me, "Stop asking me questions," and that would just make me ask more questions. So it was like a suicide mission, being curious when I was a child. But I seemed to have acres of time when I was a child to hang around. I spent lots of time in the library. I would find, like when I discovered something in the UK called interlibrary loans. So I lived next to a small library, didn't know very much. And I realised I could get anything. So I would kind of stretch the things. I'd ask for, not ridiculous things, but what I thought were outrageous requests. And 2 months later, I got a postcard through the letterbox saying, the item you requested is available. And I'd be so excited. And often they give that photographs and they say, oh, you might as well keep that. Oh wow!
Okay.
This is amazing.
Yeah.
So I bring home this photocopy. So I did crazy things like that. So curiosity is, I think it's a kind of life force, and I'm so sad that many organisations beat the curiosity out of people. Now, they punish them for being curious. They punish them for asking questions.
Curiosity is diminishing in corporations. You're very curious as a child. So what happens to curiosity in corporations?
Get fired. Get fired for not doing your job. It's seen as, you've got a job, do it. Don't go beyond that. I had a massive row with the head of learning and development for logistics, a very large logistics company, when I was talking about innovation and curiosity. And he said, you're a dangerous guy. I said, why? He said, because I want 40,000 people to do the same thing again and again and again every single day without question. I don't want people who ask me why we do that. I said, fine. How are you ever going to get there? You're the genius, are you? Who can improve stuff? Or all those 40,000 people, the ones who actually know how to improve it? I totally challenge them. I don't care whether it's a logistics company or a bottling company. If you create an energy around improvement, things get better. Toyota built its entire manufacturing model on the back of curiosity. Be curious, ask why, do it better.
What are you curious about nowadays?
Pretty much anything. You know, I'm really interested in how organisations work. I always have been. They are so complex now, so multi-layered. I just love to dig in there and see what makes something work. And it's not organisation charts.
So what are you searching specifically? Is it what makes an organization tick, or is it the corporate vision?
It's much more. There can be a massive disjunction between the corporate vision and what actually you experience down here somewhere. Mm-hmm. So it's much more about how those linkages occur, how they can be out. In some organisations, the corporate vision is amplified right through the. It's like a megaphone. But the further you get from the source, the louder it gets. And in others, it's the exact opposite. The loud voice at the top is a whisper by the time you get halfway down.
Is it all about making the people in an organization curious about the vision? Is that what's important in a company?
No, not at all. It's about people wanting to do a good job and being allowed to do a good job. It's about motivation. Now, Dan Pink says that motivation is essentially autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Mm-hmm. And most organisations give precious little autonomy never give people much of a chance to master anything, and take away purpose.
Yeah.
And therefore you have demotivated, uncurious, incurious, I suppose, there is people. And organisations which get that, autonomy and mastery and purpose leads to curiosity. Because you want to do a good job, and a better job, and an even better job. It's absolutely fundamental, I think.
I want to go back to you
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay.
What do you think are your drivers of your own curiosity? What drives curiosity in you?
Wanting to know and wanting to understand, and I suppose the negative flip of that is never wanting to be left behind, never wanting to be left out. I really don't want to be the person who's the last one on the block to get it.
Yeah.
I've always been obsessed with keeping up and just understanding the way the world is changing and being part of that change.
So it's a new thing. Is there also an aspect of competition in what you're saying?
Perhaps, but that doesn't. It's not a driver. I am competitive. You know, I want to win, but not to the point of trampling all over anyone else.
Absolutely.
I just want to be a player, much more than a winner.
How did curiosity play out, or your curiosity play out in your family life or in your private ways?
If you bring up kids, you bring them up like my father did, to any question is an annoyance, or you bring them up to ask questions and to encourage questions and stimulate them. So that's what I did. I took my children. I still do. I still work with my kids, and I still send them stuff that I think they'll find interesting.
Yeah.
And sometimes they do, and quite often they don't. I don't care. I don't care if they delete nine things out of 10. We go to places that are interesting and different, and I've got grandchildren now, and they're very little. So I talk to them about the world. I show them stuff. You know, I want them to be excited and curious, and I ask them why. I ask them to explain to me why. Why do you think that works? How do you think that works? And often they have no idea, but that makes them think about it. I have been asked 4 or 5 times in the last 6 months by people in corporations saying, Nigel, how do we teach curiosity? And that's a very interesting question. And the answer is, have you got an environment where curiosity is rewarded or one where it's punished? Because if it's an environment where curiosity is punished, don't bother. Just don't bother. Fix the culture first, and everything else will follow. But curiosity, people think is some sort of magic mystery. It's not. It's not magical at all. It's much more a state of mind, and therefore it's a state of an organisation, a state of a company, a mindset that's locked away in an organisation, and you've just got to unlock that. And curiosity links straight to innovation, links straight to productivity, links straight to performance, links straight to development. All these things are linked. And you take one link in the chain out, there's no chain. They're all broken, they're all separate, and they all don't work. Very important.
So, to wrap it up, if you would have to put curiosity in a short and crisp sentence, what would you say?
I would say that curiosity is a sense of never being satisfied with the present. Never being content, thinking you've done it, you've made it, you've got it. It's always asking, what's next? How could this be better? How could this be bigger, greater, more effective, better for the customer? That's what it is. That's what drives it.
Nigel, thank you very much.
It's a pleasure. Thank you. Thanks very much.